let's talk about The Flash. The Flash is another one of those shows in the Arrowverse that's had its ups and downs. The general consensus with The Flash is seasons 1 and 2 are the best seasons, and everything since then has been kind of... Season 3 had the problem of just recycling too many things from the first 2 seasons, and some things blatantly just recycling without any new creativity to give it something. Season 4 had a fresh new villain. That grand plan turned out to be, well, really, really disappointing. Then we just had Season 5 with the villain Cicada and introducing the Flash's daughter from the future, Nora, also known as XS. And that season started out pretty good and then floundered out about halfway through. But now with the new season of Flash, we have a new showrunner running things, and I think it really shows. Let's get into it. So the season starts out with Barry and his wife Iris dealing with spoilers. If you're not caught on Flash, spoilers there. Dealing with the death of their daughter Nora from last season. Barry's trying to stay optimistic, but he's obviously forcing his optimism. He's trying to be like, we're Team Flash, we could do this, because there's like a new threat coming up, and he's trying to stay optimistic, but it's pretty obvious to everybody on the team that he's just unusually optimistic, or, trying to stay lighthearted, but he's just trying to not feel that pain of us losing his daughter, right? And as for Iris, she's just trying to push through it, but it's obviously not working. Like, she wants to talk about it, but she's a little too afraid and all that stuff. And it's good. It's good that they didn't skip over the whole, because you can't have these two characters who, are married, and then they just had like their daughter from the future show up, falling in love with her, and then, not talk about it. So yeah, proper way to start off the season. But at the same time, the first episode, despite the fact it had those emotional parts with them dealing with the death of Nora, it still has a lot of great fun moments that fans of The Flash expect from this series. In the final few minutes of the first episode, they're dealing with this big threat, which is not your usual villain. It's more of just an what do I put it? That's a horrific situation. That's how I'll put it. And I won't say how they fix it, but the Flash, as he does, just super speeds right into the situation, and they play a certain song as he does, and it just made me fucking laugh so hard. And I was like, oh, this is great. So first episode alone, you got to check out. We'll go through. All right. But anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about, as I said before, when I was talking about Arrow, a lot of the new Arrowverse, a lot of these new seasons of the Arrowverse shows, we have the main character getting a new suit, and Barry has also gotten a new suit, which is good because in season 4, he got a brand new suit, basically after having the same suit for like 3 seasons. And then season 4, he got a new suit. Everybody loved it. I loved it. It's my favorite Flash suit on this show, and I think it looks great. And then season 5, for some dumb reason, they decided to give him another new suit. I don't know if it was for toy sale so they can make a new action figure. I've also heard that Grant Gustin, who plays the Flash, a.k.a. Barry Allen, was very uncomfortable in the season 4 suit. I've heard that it was he couldn't move around that easily in it. If that's the truth, then fine. I don't want something to hinder the actor's performance. But they could. But regardless, when we started season 5 and he got yet another new suit, a lot of fans did not like it. A lot of fans were disappointed, and it had to do with, one, like I said, the season 4 suit looked great. It looked awesome. Everybody loved it. Season 5 suit, not so much. It just had nothing to compare with the... it's not a horrible... From the neck down, I don't hate it. I think it's fine. But it definitely leaves you wanting after that awesome season 4 suit. My real problem with it was the helmet portion, the mask helmet and the neck piece. They looked wrong. The previous suits had them all one piece, but with this new one, it looked like he was wearing a goofy helmet. A lot of people had an issue with the fact that no longer had a chin strap on the costume. That really didn't bother me because the Flash has not had chin straps in the comics or in cartoons, so that doesn't really bother me. But the chin strap is back, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who hated the season 5 suit, The new one, Season 6 suit, is basically an overhauled, upgraded version of the Season 5 suit. It looks a lot better. The chin strap is back. They're using different fabrics with this suit to make it look a little better, along with some new adornments all across the suit. And I think it really brings it together. So if you didn't like the Season 5 suit, I think you'll be much happier with the new Season 6 suit. It is literally an improved version of the last season suit. But anyway, moving on to other things. Now, what else is going on in the season is also very similar to what's going on in Arrow. In Arrow, the Monitor has told Oliver that he will die in the Crisis event. And the Monitor has told the Flash something similar, that not he will die, but in order to save the universe, to save all universes, he must sacrifice himself in the Crisis event to avoid it all. And despite Barry's usual optimism and the optimism of Team Flash, through some science, Barry finds out that the Monitor is not lying and that he has to sacrifice himself, otherwise all of existence will be wiped out by the villain of the event. And much like with Arrow, this adds this kind of weight to Barry, where he realizes, like what he's got to do, and he can't avoid it. So a lot of the season deals with him eventually telling Team Flash, his friends that work with him, that he is going to die soon in the Crisis event, and preparing each member of the team for life without him and life without the Flash to protect Central City. The person who takes this the hardest is, of course, Cisco, who's been a main character since season 1, and he's Barry's best friend. He takes it the hardest, and they have all these little individual character growing episodes where Barry works with all the individual members of the team to get them ready for him not being around. With Cisco, he prepares him, to pick up some duties after he's dead. With Killer Frost, he helps her try to balance out her emotions better because she's been a hero the past couple seasons instead of a villain, and he wants to make sure that she is ready to defend Central City to the best of her abilities, as well as Ralph Dimney, aka the Elongated Man, who, when we first met him, he was a jerk. He was a jerk that really didn't care about anyone but himself. But thanks to Barry, he's become a hero, and he's become a great character. I think Ralph was a great addition to the show. To see his evolution as a character, he's still Ralph at the end of the day, but he's a noble guy after his character development. I've really enjoyed the Elongated Man on the show. I think he was a great addition, and so you have all this going on, and it really adds a lot of weight to the show because everybody's crying. Almost every episode somebody's crying because they know no matter what they do, Barry's going to be gone soon. And the Crisis event is right around the corner, and it's really messing with everybody. And this leads to the new villain of the season, Bloodwork. He is a doctor that just lost his mother to a genetic disease, and apparently he has it too, and sooner or later this disease will claim him. And he is desperate to find a cure. He's so desperate that he turns himself into a metahuman, somebody with superpowers, in order to hoping that, and we've seen this with other metahumans before, hoping that he will gain some kind of advanced healing ability. The Flash has an advanced healing ability. Apparently Killer Frost does. They said that in one episode she has ice healing. I don't know what that means, but then again, the Flash has speed healing because he has lightning in his body, so whatever. Lots of superheroes have advanced healing. You got Wolverine's got a super healing. You got Spider-Man's got super healing. Apparently, in the MCU, the Asgardians have not super healing, but they can heal way faster than a normal human. The whole regeneration super healing is just so many characters have it nowadays. But anyway, in his pursuit to take out this disease, he does gain metahuman abilities, but they warp and twist him into this diseased madman, and he soon not only doesn't want to, he goes past curing his disease to wanting to eliminate death itself. He wants to cure death, so no one will ever have to die again. But because he's become twisted and mutated, he can make everybody live forever, but they wouldn't be themselves anymore. So, and this is a good thing for the Flash's villain. Now, I should be noted that they announced that this season on the Flash, they'll have two main villains. They're going to have Bloodwork be the main villain for the first half of the season, and then after Crisis, they're going to gain another new main villain. But Bloodwork is a good villain for this point in the Flash because he contrasts Barry. Barry, for the most part, has accepted the fact that he is going to die, that he has to die to save the world. And Bloodwork is the exact opposite. He is desperate to avoid death. You know, he refuses to die, and he will do whatever he has to whomever he has to live, to the point where now he's forcing his viewpoints and beliefs on anybody. And he's going to use anybody to accomplish his mission, like I said. So, yeah, it's a nice contrast. You have the man who's willing to accept death, and you have the man who rejects it. So it's a nice contrast. I'm really enjoying it. So overall, this season of The Flash, it's really good. It's definitely the best season we've had since season 2 so far. I mean, I don't know how the second half of the season is going to go, but it goes as good as this one. I am personally very excited because, it just, you have these deep emotional moments because everybody is just like depressed that Barry is going to be gone for good and there's nothing they can do about it. But at the same time, the show is still having fun. The show is still lighthearted. It feels like how The Flash started off in the first couple seasons, and it's just making me really happy. So if you are not caught up on the current season of Flash, aka season 6, please do. So far, it's really good, and I'm hoping that'll continue after the Crisis on Infinite Earths event. Now, hey everybody, hope you enjoyed that clip. If you want to see a full episode, I live stream over on Facebook. And of course, don't forget to click subscribe and check out some more videos.